Sword Art Online, Fate of Bullet, though. This is a video game. I kind of regret going to New Game Plus before I did like my little stream thing for this, because now I'm pretty limited on where I can go. I'm pretty much stuck in the first area of the game right now. So basically, if you're not familiar with Sword Art Online, the anime, it's like MMO focused anime. But the developers of this game, which if you've listened to anything I've ever talked about anything before, you've probably heard me say that this game's made by Dimps, who worked on, who was one of the developers on Freedom Wars. Freedom Wars was developed by 3 teams as far as people could tell. They made a game that kind of felt like it, but it really in the end, like when it comes down to the structure of this game, it's nothing quite like a Freedom Wars. Freedom Wars is very much in the Monster Hunter style. But similar to Freedom Wars, it's a very gun-focused game. Freedom Wars is more like 50% guns, 50% melee weapons. This game is like 95% guns, like 5% melee weapons, and the melee weapons don't particularly feel great. I'll say this game in general, a lot of time doesn't particularly feel great, but yeah. So you have like in Freedom Wars, you have like an AI partner that you can set up and make, and you can basically treat them like a second customizable character. Everybody else in the game who's in your party is pretty much a preset character in here. So you have people from the show down here, and then like I think there's like crossover characters from like other things. I think I might not have them yet. Oh, there you go. So like I don't know. Maybe they're maybe they're in Sword Art Online. I don't know. Man, I haven't watched far enough into the series. But I have Peepa. It used to be Peepo. I did a stream where I did play this game as my other character. When I went to New Game Plus, I redesigned my characters. But Kureya, Itsuki, as well as a lady called Zeliska. I think she's over here. Let me see. Maybe she's not. No, I'm not seeing her. But it's another lady called Zeliska. Are kind of like the main characters of this game, alongside your mute protagonist. I actually like the story with them quite a bit. It's actually a lot of like, I'd say that the main factor behind the story is a lot about who they are outside of the game. With the whole thing being like, well, you can play whoever you want when you're in the game. And then, so basically it's a lot about like who people are in real life, and I don't know if the issues that come with it per se, but like there are like, oh, like this one girl has like a sibling complex issue where she doesn't feel as like good as her sibling all the time, so she's always trying to be better. My favorite is like Itsuki, which I don't think he's in my party right now, which they kind of seem to imply that he's he lives in an area that's not particularly safe. Like, I don't know if he's like in a developing country or something, but he has internet to play VR MMOs. But it seems like where he's living is not like a Japan, basically. It's like the whole thing is he's kind of like, hey, you know, you guys don't know real fear because you don't know what it's like to be in a real war-torn area. Although Kirito obviously has the benefit of you know, being in an MMO where you can die, kind of thing. So I think that's the main part of the story that I like about the game. So I think what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna clear out some of these little scorpion guys real quick, and then I think we're gonna go to the first dungeon in the game. Because this is on expert mode, everything is a lot more powerful. So this is really the first area of the game, but everything is like 20 levels higher than me. I'd say the one thing that is kind of frustrating about the story, and it depends on how you feel about Sword Art Online in general, is that a lot of the flavor text and dialogue is around the main characters from the show, and like, if you don't like those characters, then there's a lot of dialogue you're not going to care about. And unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of most Sword Art Online characters. There's like a couple that I like, but they're not even the main characters really. So I'd say yeah, it's a budget to this game. I'd say it plays a lot better than I thought it would. It plays a lot better than Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. I think this is actually a good game where Hollow Fragment is more of a interesting experiment based off how little whoops, I didn't there we go. How little money was put into repurposing that game, because it's like 2 games crammed into one. This one feels like a game. I think the biggest problem I have with this game so far is the lack of content. You get to the end of the game, there's just nothing really to do except for to restart on a harder difficulty and play through the game again, which to get the real ending is probably the better way to go about, or rather it's probably the more interesting way to go about getting the real ending, because otherwise you're just going to grind the last dungeon in the game over and over again. There's literally no more content to do. Maybe if you buy the DLC or something, but you know, I don't want to spend $30 on content that's gonna I don't know, there's something weird about like, hey, I'm trying to do the main story still because I got the bad ending, but hey, I don't know, something weird about that, and I don't really like that the content feels so low. One thing I do really like about this game, and it has a very similar thing to like Peach Beach Splash, is that you have this area in front of you that's like an auto target. So like I can focus on movement here, and kind of like the show in the gun MMO section, you have like these bullet lines where it shows where enemies are aiming at you. So you can kind of get an idea of who's aiming at you and how much you have to evade without just like, you know, taking the shots. And if they are aiming at you, it's kind of hard to dodge. But if you are standing still, you know, it's a lot. Like, I think you can see plenty of places where like I'm kind of trying to roll out of these bullet line shots, and I'm able to get out of the way before they start shooting me. Sometimes you get hit by a couple bullets, but it's better than just getting like laid into. It's really helpful for snipers, although I don't know if this game follows the rule of the show where like the snipers get the first shot free, and then after that, every shot after that has a bullet line. But yeah, I would say this game doesn't particularly feel great in terms of like, you know, being polished or anything like that. I would say it feels a lot better than when I played it at GameStop Expo though, because when I was playing at GameStop Expo, it kind of felt like a mess. It feels a lot better. It runs a lot smoother, and I'd say the guns generally. Oh shoot! I'm dead. I'd say the guns generally have a nice feeling of impact to them. AI is okay, but not great. Let me see. You have a handful of skills. So in the bottom right-hand corner here, I have a heal shot that I just used. I have a dash attack, which I don't really use the dash attack anymore. And then a defensive strike, and that's depending on the weapon you have out. So I have 2 weapons you can have out. And so this one, the Gatling gun doesn't have to reload, but as you shoot it, it builds up heat. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner there's like a little icon of the Gatling gun. To the right of that is your health and also the heat meter. So it fills up, and then you can burn or cool your gun by charging up a fireball and using that kind of like as a reload almost. Like your reload basically gives you a special shot is what's happening. But if you do overheat, then you have to wait for it to stop being overheated. The New Game Plus mode on this is pretty punishing. It's not so apparent here, I feel like, and I did recently kind of rework my character stats and stuff, so I think that's helping a lot. But the last dungeon I was in, I was really struggling because I was basically getting one-shot killed by every sniper. So like watching those bullet lines and stuff was really important. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I've ever gotten this treasure chest before. I've never noticed it. There we go. There's like a handful of quest types. There's like a hunting quest where it's just like, hey, kill this number of things. And then there's also treasure quests, which is just finding treasure chests. And then like boss quests, and I forget what the last one is. There's another type, but I just can't remember what it is. Getting back to the aiming a little bit, like when you auto aim, there is like it is really useful for moving around while you're shooting and dealing damage. Dang it, sniper got me. Oh no, I hope we live. Okay. Jeez. Okay, I think I gotta get those snipers because they're killing everybody. I have a little heal. I have like gadgets over here, grenades, and knives to throw, stuff like that. This is probably a bad idea because my party members are pretty much all dead, but I want these guys to be dead. Ooh, boy. Okay, let me get back here. Say AI is not particularly great in this game. I'm a little worried because Xenon's over here and he might shoot me while trying to shoot her, and I won't see the bullet line because of that. You can use like this grapple hook to knock down enemies. The grapple hook doesn't particularly feel great in this game. It's useful, but not as useful as you'd like it to be. Or it doesn't feel as good. I'm almost dead. Oh jeez. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can't heal up right now. Let me see. Oh no. Don't shoot me. I have this little like shield, but I don't really know how it works yet. Let me see. Did it go up? I don't think it did. Okay, well, let's heal. Oh, someone's shooting me. Oh, hello. Alright. Alright. This is probably over. We're probably dead. Oh, oh no, he's chasing me. Okay. Let me see if I can get out of here. Oh, jeez. There's not really a good way to heal in this game. For self-healing. At least I don't have anything assigned for such. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I don't think I have a heal skill. I have like a good partner heal, but I don't have a good just like heal myself. Heal me, Peepa, heal me. Peepa! Peepa, heal me! Heal me, Peepa! She's just gonna go die. Oh, he fell. I do like that it's very easy to switch to like an auto aim here, or a manual aim. Rip. We'll see how long it takes for people to get back to me. I do like that there's a like an easy manual aim because you don't want to just auto aim all the time because you're not going to hit like weak points, and if you're far away, you're going to miss more than you hit, and so you're going to want to like really sit there and take control of the aim yourself when you can. You're going to do a lot more damage that way if you can, but I mean, depends on the gun and what you're trying to do. Like you slow down. I'd say the one annoying thing with like doing a manual aim typically is that you're zoomed in for the most part. You can turn this off and then just do like a normal gun shooting thing, but I don't know. I feel like that doesn't really fit this game super well. Although I did see people on PC saying that they're playing it pretty much like a traditional third-person shooter in a lot of ways. So my Gatling gun overheated, but I can go away from it and switch back to my SMG. So, oh, someone's still alive. That guy's still alive. Huh. I do like that this game does have like dungeons. That's one thing that I felt like is kind of missing from a lot of games in this style. Of just feeling like I don't know, like a lot of Japanese games that are like almost feel like this isn't really a cooperative game is the thing. I'm like trying to say like a cooperative hunting game kind of thing, but that's not what this is. But I guess I was expecting it to be more like Freedom Wars, where it's just like, hey, here's a bunch of bosses, go fight the bosses. And that wasn't the case, which was nice. There's a lot of dungeons and stuff, and a lot of the dungeons look the same, have a lot of the same layouts and stuff. But I don't dislike it. It feels about on par with what I expect for these kind of games. I wish there was more multiplayer though. Like the biggest problem I have is that the multiplayer is pretty much like this boss fight here. It's like the first story boss fight. That's the first multiplayer mission, and then like every multiplayer mission after that, it's just like here's the next boss fight, and the boss fights are fine. I think they're good within the context of the game, but they're not really like core of the game, I feel like. I think it overheated. I have like 2 fireballs, so I really should be like going between the two to keep my gun from overheating. So I'm gonna want to revive my party members. I was trying to make a tank build in this game originally, but I don't really feel like making... Oh no, I'm stuck. I don't really feel like making specific classes in this game has much of a benefit. Just because there's not enough cooperative stuff happening. Like I said, there's not much going on in the multiplayer. So in the single player, you really got to be focused on dealing damage because your party's not going to do that much damage. So I think it's better just have them on support when possible, and let them like handle tanking if they can. But yeah, it's one of those games where it's like it's both about movement and shooting, and I'd say it leans more in the movement way than your traditional shooter. And that's kind of where the value of the auto target comes in. Oh dang it! I might not survive this boss fight. Let's see. Okay. Do something, and then I'll heal. I put defense up, but at this point I would just die. Oh boy. Oh boy! Hello! Oh boy. I probably should have just raised Peepa, because Peepa has a heal. Okay, Peepa's up. Heal the Peepa. Oh! Rest in peace. I would say the back half of this game does get pretty challenging though, but I feel like a lot of it's just because there's not enough content to grind on, and because of that, you kind of feel under-equipped for a lot of the fights. There are a lot of different like gun types though. You got like shotguns, handguns, SMG, ARs. There's a sword in the game, but I just never found that much use for it. But as you use skills and stuff, you earn more skills, which kind of help expand the use of specific weapons. But there's this mode called Kirito mode where you play as Kirito, which I assume in that mode that you have basically the highest sword stats in the game, because that's Kirito's main thing, is that he's a special sword man. Ouchie. But even then, it didn't feel particularly great. I think the shooting is probably the best thing, and then it is kind of nice, like being able to sit here and switch back and forth between auto aiming and what's called, because like if the enemy starts running around a bunch, and you know you're not really able to hit them with their own aim, it lets you just kind of like, hey, let's just back off for a bit and just like do some general damage while we oh no, oh no, oh. I'm not really built to move away from things. You can like increase your agility and stuff, as well as your movement speed. Most of your stats come from accessories that you equip, and then and then your weapon. Your clothes don't do any stat stuff. But yeah, typically this would be a very hard or a very easy boss fight, but since we're in the hard difficulty, and I'm still like level 60 and this guy's like level 82, so you know I'm pretty under level compared to him. But I feel like a lot of the Sword Art Online games like to inflate the level of enemies and make you maybe try to make you feel stronger than you actually are. But I'd say this is probably maybe the first instance of really feeling like being overwhelmed at least between like Hollow Fragment. Like Hollow Fragment starts at like level 100. So yeah, and then there's just like these overworld segments, and this is probably one of the most closed off overworlds, unfortunately. But it does show you like how there's like a lot of areas will have like these open like grasslands kind of areas, mountainside stuff, and then there's also like these cities you can go into and explore those. And there's not typically a lot in them other than just things to shoot and maybe like a few treasure chests. But it's not they're not all as simple as this. This is a very compact version compared to other areas. There's one with just like its own entire city that you can walk around in. Let me go over here and try to show off that they also have, Jesus Christ, I think they spawn a lot more enemies in expert mode too, because I don't remember it being this crowded. So then you can also run into like enemy players, and in the hard mode they're ridiculously high level, and I'd say they're not particularly difficult to fight per se, but they typically have like a lot higher stats than the other monsters, and because they're ranged focus, because they're range focused, they're a lot more deadly versus like just the typical melee enemies. When one of them dies, though, they also have a chance to revive each other. So it's not just about taking one down. You got to take the whole party down, because they can sit there and just start like healing each other up. Because once I kill that guy, if I kill that guy, Peepa! I'd say your AI is very bad at reviving you when enemies are around. And we died. Rest in peace. Yosh. I'd say that also the character customization leaves quite a bit to be desired. There's a lot of options, but they're just kind of like I guess the best way to put it is like stiff. Like there's just not a lot of. There are a lot of options to choose between like big pieces, but not really like this outfit is like an entire set. Like, you don't really get to sit there and choose individual pieces. You get to choose your accessories, so I have this headset and that's on, but that has stats associated with it, so you don't really get the chance to, like, sit there and, you know, choose stuff. I haven't really done anything with, this clothes on the guy because, since I just unlocked, or just started playing New Game Plus, I haven't unlocked the ability to switch over to, a set of clothes that, are what's it called? You can't alter the colors on the clothes, I should say, until a certain point. So this is kind of the main lobby, and for the most part all this stuff is available in your room, the exception being these medals. So as you perform certain like skills and tasks, you can see in the top right corner there I have medals that are associated with certain skills I'm using. So there's ones that are melee focused, ones that are healing focused, which I have the most healing ones, because that's as much as an attacker character as I am, most of my skills are like defensive and healing, and then also weapon medal for using weapons and stuff. And you can then use those to trade them in for outfits. You can change them in for weapons, and then you can also buy these things called I don't think I have them yet, but basically there's, oh, here we go. So yeah, there's like disguises. So when you go to play online, you can basically dress up as one of the characters online. You just put a disguise on. Everyone else is just like rankings and stuff, but you know, it depends on how you feel about the PvP in this game. I haven't touched the PvP at all because it's just kind of like, hey, deal the most damage to an enemy. It's not like actual fighting other players. Gadgets are like items in this game, but they're very expensive because they're essentially infinite. So like I brought a first aid kit and I can just continue to use first aid kits as long as I want. So you buy one and you just get an infinite number of those items. So melee booster kits, anti-ailments. It's kind of a nice way to do it, but it's also very expensive. Also, you can see on the bottom right hand corner there where it says equip requirements, it requires specific stats. And as you level up, you actually get to assign your own stats. So you can sit here and just add stuff on. And then there's like a store where you can just buy normal stuff. This is the quest board, and this stuff is pretty much just all the stuff I was doing earlier. Apparently I just accepted all subquests. I didn't know. Apparently triangle is accept all quests. But I already completed all those quests, so I might kill them later. And this is just another way to teleport out. It's weird because they like, not only do they have this area here, and then that's the multiplayer counter where you can choose to do multiplayer stuff over there. Not only do they have this area here for you to like choose quests and like do all this stuff, but there's also another area for like these things called squadrons. And they're like these unique dedicated rooms to these specific quest types, but they don't do anything. They're literally just like, hey, you can go accept the quests here. It's almost like they were like, oh, okay, so let's have you accept quests. And there's Zelska. She's like the other main character. But it's like they're like, here's the quest counter for this type of quest. But I accepted all those quests because I accepted them from my bedroom. And then you can also accept them from the, what's it called? Like that lobby area. So it's like there's like 3 different places, and it's like, oh, this would be too inconvenient to go to these squad rooms, so let's go put them in the lobby area. Oh, it'd be too inconvenient in the lobby area, let's go put them in your bedroom. It's like they've just made 3 places for you to go to if you wanted to. Unfortunately, none of this stuff is really interactable. You can't like sit in chairs or anything like that. Again, there's no like online mechanic to this, so they probably just didn't feel the need to really make you be able to interact with this environment. It'd be nice if you could like walk around this town and stuff online, but you basically just get locked into that lobby area. So there's Kure, huh? Trying to think if there's anything else to really show in town. Kirito's room has like a bunch of crafting stuff in there. You can also craft items and stuff. So like that's the one thing that's like, oh, you can't do crafting in your room. But yeah, they actually do like quite a bit with like let me see, quite a bit with the town. You just don't really have to do much in it per se, like because they centralize all of it in these individual terminals that are in your room and Kirito's room. You can essentially do everything from your room or Kirito's room, with the exception of maybe like leaving to go to the very first area in the game. I think you have to use the teleporter, but after that you have fast travel points every time you leave town, so you could just never use anything. But yeah, so there's like it's like this big ramp thing you can go down, and there's like a bunch of NPCs everywhere, and the NPCs are surprisingly unique actually. I'm guessing they just either use the character creator to make characters, or they actually like randomized character creator settings or something, because they're I don't know, they all look like somewhat hand designed. So I don't think you can go up here, but I think eventually you can go down on that ramp over there. But yeah, it's like, and this is the problem you have with like a lot of games where it's like at some point, why go around this town? Like, yes, it's neat to explore this town. I don't think I've ever been down here, but there's also literally nothing there, and then there's just like fast traveling everywhere. Like, I didn't run up here to get to whatever this cutscene is that was up here originally for me to do this part. I literally just fast traveled to this point because it just was already unlocked from the start of the game. Hey, guy. I do like that you move pretty fast. But yeah. I guess that's about it for Sword Art Online. I like this game a lot. It's just a shame the multiplayer just isn't there. I would love to play this game in a more like dungeon-like setting and stuff like that. But it's pretty much just, hey, fight your... man, this thing goes a long way. It's pretty much just like fight your bosses from the story. And I guess the benefit of it is that like when you fight those, it tells you what the rewards will be, and those rewards are a guarantee as far as I can tell. It's really weird coming down here. I don't think I've ever been all the way down here before, and there's literally nothing here. It's like they started building stuff out, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm sure there's a cutscene there at some point or something. But yeah, I just feel like there's so much more they could have done with this game, and it sounds like the DLC content for the game is largely single-player stuff of just like new quest lines and stuff like that. So, you know, not that I'm against playing these types of games by yourself. I've played Phantasy Star Universe largely by myself. I'm gonna poke around the character creator real quick. All those green like word bubbles on the mini maps are just like saying there's a like cutscene there. As you like play with characters and stuff, you unlock special Affinity Cutscene things. Your little robot person starts sleeping with you in bed or something, and be like, oh, what is embarrassment? I don't know what embarrassment is. So yeah, so you get to choose a body shape and size, but like the problem with this body thing is that the guys' heads are like super huge. So you kind of want to keep it like pretty small. I actually like the smallest body just because it makes his head not seem as huge. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it scales well, and I just give him -10 head because like whatever. The girls don't have nearly as much problem with the head size. So there's like a lot of options to adjust these individual pieces here. And like you have individual face types and stuff you can choose. And then there's probably like around 40 hairstyles. I'm just not a fan of most of them, and they're actually a lot of them are female hairstyles, which, you know, I'm glad they give you the choice to equip these on guys if you want to, because that's like one of my biggest pet peeves with any kind of character creator game is just like, hey, just let the guy equip stuff. You want a thick neck? That's as thick as it can get. I forgot what it was at. Yeah, and then the colors, it's just kind of hard to navigate the colors too. It just seems like a lot of options, but when you actually sit here and like work with it, it just doesn't feel like you have that much. Colors don't give you like RGB scales, and then you know, if you want to go through these colors, there's no easy way to switch between them. You just got to open this menu and change them to make them work. I don't know if you could put facial hair on anyone. Let's see. You can put makeup on guys. Put lipstick on. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any facial hair options. You get decals, I guess. I don't think there's anything in here, though. No, I think there's all just... what's it called? Yeah, it's like... it... But... I hope it didn't default me to normal, man. That'll be annoying if it did. Okay, I'm back to my guy. But yeah, it's just like there seems like there's a lot of options there, but when you actually sit down and try to work with it, it doesn't feel that great. And I think part of it is because, you know, the outfits are just like so rigid. This is your outfit. You know, you can change the color, and there's like usually a lot of color options. So like there's like 4, I think, on this outfit, but it's just yeah, I don't know. I like this game a lot. I wish there was more to it, but I'll probably continue to play it and hopefully beat it on extreme mode. But I feel like that's the thing, is like when I originally was setting this up to do extreme mode, I was like, you know, there's a lot of games like this where they're just like, hey, just play it on hard now, I guess, and you level up that way. And I don't know if it's the lack of multiplayer or what, but like it feels like a cop out in this game for some reason, and I don't know why. Versus like a Phantasy Star Online where it's just like, hey, do this harder, and like, yeah, sure, whatever, man. We're gonna go grind out some stuff on harder difficulty. This one, it just doesn't feel, but maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe it's like just a, you know, a less time kind of thing, but I liked Tokiden 2 a lot, and that went to just like a hard difficulty. But again, that was multiplayer focused, so maybe it just was the actual fact that it was multiplayer that kept me from, you know, burning out on it. I forget what this menu even is. Oh, like cutscenes and stuff. You can also, there's like a banking system with your little robot, although we're gonna get a cutscene. So, never mind. Although, we can probably skip that. Although, it probably is gonna have a lot of Affinity cutscenes with me. And I'm just like, yo, let me look at my bank. That's one problem with this game, is like, if you want to just like, do something, sometimes a cutscene will get in the way. It's a very chatty game. Oh, I guess she's gonna change her hairstyle. And her outfit. I don't like your hair though. Anyways, so you have like banking and stuff, and so like right now I put like 50% of my income into my bank, so I have 2 million credits, but my wallet has 8 million in it, so I have 2.8 million credits. And then you can also give her an allowance, and then she uses that to buy stuff, and you can set her like buying habits. So for me, I have her set to find good deals. Versus like someone was just like, hey, spend a lot of money, or hey, be on the cheap side. I'm like, hey, no, spend money, but make sure you're looking for a deal. You can also invest, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's just kind of like a thing that says like, invest high, invest low, invest medium, and you get different like fluctuations in your inventory money based off that. So I just stay on normal because, as far as I can tell, there's no real like rhyme or reason to why something works or doesn't work. It just is a matter of it, you know, being there. There's a lot of interesting little pieces here and there, but yeah, just gonna do it. Thanks for coming. I'm not gonna save. Hopefully she didn't save her hair. I don't like her hair like that. That's it. I don't know if I'll stream this weekend. If you missed it, last weekend I did like an import stream. Check it out. I did some fun import game stream stuff. There is a full Spectrum Warrior article on the website from this week. So if you want to read that, although if you watch my full Spectrum Warrior stream, I think I kind of went through my thoughts through that already over the stream. So, you know, it's up to you. It's more like cleaned up and put into an article rather than just me like talking over a video game for 6 hours trying to figure out what the heck I like about it. But it seems like we're probably gonna beat Yakuza 2 next week, so the finale hopefully. And then maybe we'll play some Ghost Squad. I'll put Ghost Squad in this week and see if it runs fine. Yeah. On that, have a good weekend. Have a good Labor Day weekend. That's a holiday. Bye.